So one of the biggest challenges of a new investor in the Philippine stock market is knowing exactly where to invest their funds, where to invest their money. So maraming nagtatanong sa akin yan, Ming, saan ba pwedeng ilagay itong extra money that I have right now? Dito ba sa company na to or dito ba sa company na ito? That is actually a common question, but what they don't realize is that being successful in investing in stock market is more than just finding the right stocks or companies to buy. So in this video, I'm gonna teach you very simple steps on how you can do simple investing strategies even if you don't have so much time on checking the market. So what are those strategies? Keep watching this video. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Oming Tawid from smartpinoyinvestor.com and I make weekly videos on personal investing and finance. So if you would like to learn more lessons and strategies on how to improve your financial life, on how to do budgeting, on how to do investing, so make sure to subscribe to our channel, check our previous videos, and click mo na rin yung notification bell so that you get updated for our future videos. So in this video, I'm gonna share with you a simple investing strategy that you can use if you are a passive investor. So this is really not for active traders or those people who would like to enter and exit the market in a matter of few days or few weeks. But this is for people na busy sa kanilang trabaho or busy sa kanilang business but would still want to make their money work for them through long-term investing. So specifically, we will discuss yung tinatawag nating investors preparation. So what are the preparations needed by a new investor if wala pa siyang knowledge? Ano ba yung kailangan niyang paghandaan sa kanyang personal life, specifically sa kanyang financial life before diving into investing in stock market. And then we'll discuss on the investor's roadmap. So from zero knowledge about stock market, ano ba yung mga very first steps na kailangan mo so that you will get to understand better how stock market actually works. Third is we will discuss some stock picking or ano ba yung mga resources that you can use if you'd like to actually buy your first stock, and then ano ba yung mga strategies na kailangan natin gawin so that we are able to manage our risks. No? So this is actually one of the most important topics when we talk about investing, which is yung risk management, because kadalasan ng mga nakikita nating video sa YouTube is they are talking about magkano yung pwede mong kitain, double your money, triple your money. So that is actually possible in stock market but hindi nila na-cover yung risks. Yung possibility na pwedeng mangalhati yung funds mo, pwedeng mag-down yung funds mo ng 20, 30, 40%. So that should be covered and discussed thoroughly if you'd like to start investing in stock market. So i-discuss natin yan. So before we begin, let's start with laying down our proper foundation, which is itong financial planning cycle. So even before you start investing, so we need to talk about what we call the financial planning cycle of your financial life. So here we have 6 steps under the financial planning cycle, and I'd like you to think about each step as we discuss each one. And ano ba yung first step na ito? So of course, yung stage 1 is you need to understand your needs and goals first for your investing. So ano ba yung gusto mong marating, why you are investing, why you are thinking of stock market in the first place. Baka naman kasi yung goals mo is hindi naman kailangan talaga na ikaw ay pumasok sa stock market. Baka pwedeng kahit sa mutual fund na lang. So ano ba yung goals and needs, and pati na rin yung personal situation mo. So these are very important considerations for a new stock investor. So in this case, we are actually talking about yung motivation. And mahalaga ito because there will be challenges along the way, and this motivation that you have when you are starting will push you to continue when the situation gets more difficult. Okay? So that's stage 1, understand your needs and goals. And then stage 2 is, of course, yung you need to assess your current financial state. So dito na tayo papasok sa planning and sa setting up your direction. So ano ba yung situation mo? So maraming pumapasok sa stock market, may utang pa pala. So do you know na it's not really advisable if you still have debts and you'd like to enter the stock market? So hindi siya magandang idea because baka yung kikitain mo sa stock market is mas maliit compared sa interest na binabayaran mo sa yung long-term debts. Might as well bayaran mo muna yung debts mo, at least meron kang nababawas talaga na obligation in your financial life. Alright? So that's stage 2, and then stage 3 is create funds essential to your survival. So here we're talking about protection. So if may narinig na kayo about emergency funds, so this falls under stage 3 because ayaw mo kasi na yung ilalagay mong funds sa stock market mo after a month or after 3 to 5 months is i-withdraw mo siya ng palugi just because you are in an emergency. Kaya mahalaga na before you invest your funds in a stock market for long-term purposes, so dapat covered muna yung iyong emergency fund na tinatawag or your funds essential to your survival. And next stage, stage 4 is follow a schedule of budgeting and stick to it. So in this case, dapat malinaw sa iyo yung budget that you have and kung magkano ba talaga yung kaya mong ialat sa investment. So this makes sure na hindi na aapektuhan yung iyong present life in preparation for your future life. So dito na ngayon natin dinidiscuss naman yung operation. And then stage 5 is monitor your progress. So dito na ngayon papasok yung ating validation. Of course, yung investing naman is hindi naman ito overnight na mayaman ka na. No? So this could take so many months or even so many years. Kaya mahalaga na throughout those years is you're able to monitor your progress. And lastly, so if in your monitoring of your progress is meron kang nakita na dapat na adjustment, then stage 6 is that's the place where you refine your strategies as needed. So I'd like to encourage you to think through all these stages and then answer some questions dito sa mga stages na to. At least by the time na you start investing, maayos yung iyong financial life and mas magagawa mo na mas maayos yung iyong investing strategies. So now let's assume maayos na itong financial planning discussion or you already have your solid financial plan. So now let's talk about the life of a new stock investor. So ito yung mga very first steps na kailangan mong gawin if you'd like to start investing in stock market. And meron na tayong mga previous videos discussing all these steps, but I'd like also to go through this one. So of course, number 1, get the basics, understand the opportunities and risk in stock market. Mahalaga na aware ka na pwedeng malugi or pwedeng mabawasan yung funds mo. And if you are conservative, so baka naman hindi mo kailangang pumasok sa stock market or pwede mong bawasan yung iyong exposure or yung amount of funds na ilalagay mo. So get the basics as your first step. Second step is, so this is actually a mandatory step. So open a trading account. The nice thing is you can actually start opening your trading account even with minimum capital na 1,000 pesos only. So pwede nyo panoorin itong previous video if you'd like to learn how you can open an online trading account. And then third is you need to do your test buys. So in this way, mas madali mong maintindihan how stock market really works. So hindi naman kailangang malaking capital kagad yung ilalagay mo. So just buy your first stock, do a test buy, and then you can ask your questions later on as you go through the process. And then fourth step, of course, you need to monitor. Every day kasi nagbabago or nagfa-fluctuate yung investment value mo. So pwedeng yung 1,000 mo, pwedeng 950 pesos na lang kinabukasan, pwedeng 900 pesos na lang after a week, and then pwede naman ding tumalo ng 1,300 after a month. So mahalaga na you dedicate some time to monitor your investment para at least alam mo kung ano yung nangyayari sa funds mo. And again, you can do this online. So kahit sa yung mobile phone, you can actually monitor your investment. And finally, by this time, you now have at least the basic foundation, you have experience buying your first stock, and then nakita mo yung fluctuation na pwede kang malugi and pwede kang tumubo. Then to the months that follow, then you can level up. You can add your funds dahil nakita mo na how it works, and then you can dedicate more time so that you learn more about proper investing. So from that discussion, so makikita natin that there are actually two things that is demanded from you if you'd like to start investing. And those two things are, number 1, yung time, because you need to do some monitoring. And then second is yung skills, because you need to study which companies you would like to put your money in. And there are more than 200 stocks or more than 200 companies in the Philippine stock market, and finding the 2 or 3 or 5 or 10 stocks that you would like to invest in is actually the biggest challenge na kakaharapin mo as a new investor. But don't worry, meron akong i-share na strategy later in this video. And again, I have to emphasize the possibility of losing your money. So did you know na 85% of traders lose money in the stock market? So that's why I keep highlighting na before thinking about gain, so we need to be aware of the risks that is inherent in stock market. Para naman hindi kayo nagugulat once nagfa-fluctuate na, because marami akong nakikita newbie investor na nag-i-invest sila pero hindi sila aware sa risk. And then once nakita na nila na bumababa ng 10% or 15% or 20% or more yung kanilang funds, is sobrang kinakabahan sila. So it's not really a good situation na gusto mong nandoon ka. So that's why we need to be aware of this risk para meron tayong management of our expectations when we invest in stock market. So enough of that basics. So now let's talk about how do we exactly do itong simple investing strategy. And meron akong binigay ditong beginner's journey, no? So from a person na nag-start pa lang, of course, number one, you need to do saving because that's the only way na you can gather some capital to start investing. And after you have accumulated some savings, then that's the time you can start investing. So pwede kang mag-invest sa mga favorite companies, no, biggest companies that you are aware of. Pwede ka rin namang mag-invest sa mga index funds. So meron tayong previous video niyan which is actually designed for newbies, itong index funds investing. And then once tumubo ka na, then you can also reinvest your gains. So bumili ka ng stocks and then binenta mo and then you have some gains doing so. It's advisable na you reinvest your gains together with your original capital para nag-work yung compounding ng ating money. And that's actually yung tinatawag nating magic, no, when it comes to growing our funds through investing, which is the effect of compounding. So now, how do we exactly do this investing? So in this slide, I shared 4 simple investing principles na pwede nyong i-consider no, as you start investing in the stock market. So first is stick with giant companies. So invest only in solidly earning companies. So as a newbie, ayaw mong magpadala no, sa mga pang-hype na mga stocks na nakikita natin sa mga social media forums, sa mga Facebook groups. So dahil nag-start ka pa lang, you might as well start with the giant companies or yung mga tinatawag nating blue chip companies in the Philippine stock market. So when we observe this principle, iniiwasan actually natin yung malalaking fluctuations or volatility na inherent dun sa mga small capitalization or small cap stocks or mga maliliit na companies. So yung mga giant companies kasi or yung mga index companies, hindi ito malaki yung talon, yung taas and baba every single trading day. So mas maliit yung volatility, so mas steady yung pag-akyat ng company. Okay, so papakita natin ito mamaya. And then second is have a margin. So yung mga brokers natin meron yung mga target prices na tinatawag or they have done their research and meron yung mga tinatawag na fair value for each company. Gagamitin lang din natin itong mga fair value pero magsusubtract tayo ng 15% from the fair value. And we would like to use it as our threshold when to buy the stock. Okay? So, dito na ngayon papasok yung tinatawag na buy below price. So, bakit mahalaga itong buy below price? Because ayaw natin na hinahabol natin yung isang company kahit na sobrang taas niya na. So, we would like to attain a relatively better risk-reward ratio kapag bumili tayo ng giant companies. And we can only do that by observing itong buy below price. So, using this principle, so we are assured na meron tayong kikitaing at least 15% by the time na ma-attain ng company yung target price natin or yung fair value. And again, itong fair value, no, pwedeng matagal ito. Pwedeng after a year, pwedeng 2 years, pwedeng 3 years. So, ang mahalaga, we're able to buy the companies na hindi malapit dun sa fair value. Ideally, below your buy below price. And then third is we need to observe yung, ito, very important principle, diversification. And we can quantify this diversification by setting a maximum percent allocation for any stock position that you will be having. So ideally, maximum na 15% lang or 10 to 15% of your entire portfolio yung allocated in any one position. And in this case, so magkakaroon ka siguro no ng mga 8 to 10 stocks, no, maximum. And when we do diversification, again, this is a form of risk management because if bumaba man yung company na pinag-investan mo, at least hindi malaki yung exposure natin. And that can actually be compensated by the performance or a better performance of the other stock positions that you have. So makita ulit natin to mamaya. And finally, so this is for people who would like to spend a bit more time sa stock market investment nila. So you can also do passive timing. In this case, we will observe yung tinatawag nating 200-day exponential moving average or 200-day EMA to determine the long-term trend. Okay, so makikita natin to sa charting mamaya. And again, itong 200-day EMA is our long-term indicator which we can use to identify and trade with the long-term trend of the stock. So makikita natin sa charting mamaya why this is a good principle to follow because ayaw mo naman na bumibili ka ng isang company, ng isang stock na kung saan pababa or downtrend yung kanyang long-term trend. Okay? So for us to do yung simple investing approach that I shared, so gagamitin natin itong Calling the Shots na research publication ni COL Financial. So this is a monthly publication by COL which provides insights on investment opportunities based on global and local developments that could affect the market. So ibig sabihin, yung mga research analysts ni COL Financial, they are doing their analysis sa macroeconomics, sa about the country, even yung mga nangyayari abroad, no, in global markets. And yun yung ginagamit nila when it comes to setting yung fair value or yung target prices ng mga companies. And they also have yung model portfolio which actually lists down specific stocks that they project to be performing better in 1 year period of time. And here's a specific example of Calling the Shots model portfolio. So this is as of March 9, 2021. So if you're watching this, so make sure to check yung most recent na Calling the Shots stock picks ni COL Financial sa kanilang research area. So makikita natin yun mamaya. So makikita natin dito yung very specific stocks or stock picks that they have. So they have actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 stocks. And you can practically copy no yung kanilang mga recommendations because ito is mga mga analyzed na. So these are companies na really have good fundamentals based sa kanilang research. So this saves us time into doing our analysis by leveraging dun sa kanilang research skills. And if we look back dito sa ating simple investing approach, so itong step 1, stick with giants. So again, we can leverage yung kanilang stock picks dun sa kanilang Calling the Shots publication. And then we just have to apply a 15% margin dun sa sinet nilang fair value, and that can actually serve as our buy below price. And that's actually what I did here no for demo purposes. So ito yung kanilang stock picks. Ito yung kanilang current market price or yung current price nila. And then ito yung fair value. So these are coming from their monthly publication Calling the Shots. And then we simply have to subtract 15% dun sa kanilang fair value to get yung ating buy below price. So for example, Intel or PLDT, so yung kanyang fair value is 1820. So subtract ka lang ng 15%, so we get 1547. And you do the same with the rest of the stocks here and you get this buy below price figures. So in this case, bibili lang tayo if the price is actually below this buy below price, and we will stop buying if the price is above our buy below price. So that means if nakabili ka at 1547 or lower, ang minimum na profit mo or gain is actually at least 15% because you observe yung 15% na margin. So yun yung very simple idea of buy below price. In this case, at least meron ka ng idea kung kailan ka bibili and kung kailan ka mag-stop buying. And then second is we need to set our diversification in place. And we can do that by adding another column which is itong percent allocation. So this is just random figures na I put here, no? So it's up to you if you'd like to use 10 or 15%. But ideally, no, maximum 15% lang of our entire portfolio or capital yung ilalagay natin sa isang company. And in this case, so here meron siyang 8 stocks. So I can put here 15, 15 and the rest are 10%. So this is total of 90%. And then yung 10%, pwede ka rin sigurong i-allot mo siya as your free cash which you can use kapag medyo nag-dip yung market. So again, you can use 10 to 15%. That is actually a good practice. But if you are more conservative, so pwede mong babaan, let's say 8% lang or 7%. And that means you will probably be holding more than 10 stocks. And ang challenge lang nun, no, is baka maraming stocks ka na kailangan mo nang i-monitor and that could take so much time from you. So, meron na tayong risk management principles na ina-apply when we do this. So, buy below price by observing it. We are not chasing the prices on its way up. And percent allocation, we are able to do diversification in a more transparent way. Okay? So, from this slide alone, so marami ka ng mapapractice na good investing principles na pwede mong gamitin in your own personal investments. And again, itong mga figures na to could be outdated. And for us to get the most recent data, so ang gagawin lang natin is log in lang kayo kay COL Financial website. And then yung calling the shot research nila is under this research tab and here. So madali lang naman siya. Yung link na ito is actually yung kanilang latest calling the shots. And somewhere in this presentation, so makikita natin yung stock picks specifically. So as of March 9, 2021, so ito yung kanilang calling the shot stock picks. And then again, pwede mong piliin itong stock list and gamitin yung kanilang fair value and do our 15% deduction to get yung buy below price and set yung percent maximum allocation for us to do diversification. And if interested naman kayo makita yung progress and you'd like to monitor yung kanilang mga previous calling the shots reports, so pwede mo naman i-click yan dito and you can easily access yung monthly na reports that they have. So now going back to this slide, so if you do these 1, 2, 3 principles, so medyo in good place na kayo, no? So it doesn't mean nakikita na talaga kayo right away, but at least you're doing investing more holistically as compared doon sa walang sistema. So in this case, may na kayong sound system na sinusundan nyo and hindi na kayo maguguluhan on what's the next step that you need to do. So kapag na-reach nyo na yung kanyang target price or fair value, so that's the time you can start consider selling. And again, that could actually take a year or a more. So make sure na long-term yung horizon natin para na ma-manage natin yung ating volatility. And yung step 4, so again, this is only optional to those people who'd like to dedicate more time on monitoring the market is yung doing the passive timing by looking at the 200-day exponential moving average. So when we talk about the 200-day EMA, so ang nakalagay dito is buy when price is above 200-day EMA or wait 4 to 6 months consolidation if the price crosses below our 200-day EMA. So this is actually a bit of timing na, no? Ino-observe mo na yung long-term trend and if yung price is below the long-term average, so you will stop buying. But if the price is above 200-day EMA, so meaning possibly the long-term trend is starting, so that's the time you will only consider buying. So this is more conservative. But if you are more aggressive, so if nag-cross na siya below the 200-day EMA, so you could wait 4 to 6 months consolidation para makita mo lang kung gaano siya kalalim bababa before you start buying. So makikita natin yung importance nito when we do some charting. So going back sa COL Financial website, so ma-access natin yung charting tool niya dito sa quick links, pwede ditong charting or pwede rin naman dito sa quotes. And then, meron ka ditong charting sa baba. Ayan. So, if I click on this charting, ayan. So, lalabas ito. And, pwede mong i-type dito yung company. And then, make sure lang na yung time frame mo is daily candlestick. And then, you can adjust here yung time frame na, or period of time na sinusundan mo. So, kung 1 year or 2 year, 3 years, 5 years, or year to date, or 1 month, 3 months, and 6 months. And then, para ma-add natin yung 200-day EMA, so go to studies, and then hanapin lang natin yung moving average. Okay, so here is moving average. Lalabas ito. And then, we type here yung period, which is 200 days. Then, under field, so keep this close. And then, yung type is piliin lang natin yung exponential. And pwede natin baguhin yung color, no? So, let's say black. And click create. Ayan, so mag-a-add itong line na to. And makikita natin dito yung importance of observing yung 200-day EMA because that is actually an indication of the long-term trend. So, anong ibig sabihin nun? So, in this case, for example, Ayala Land. So, yung price niya is crossing below the 200-day EMA line. So that is actually somehow a signal na the price could be trending lower. Okay? So in this case, that actually happened, no? So nung nag-close siya, medyo umakyat pa siya, retraced up, and then naging resistance na actually itong line mo, pero hindi niya na rin kinaya. So dire-diretso na rin siyang pababa, and then na-reach niya yung bottom dito, and then after some times, it started to recover. Okay, and then it crossed above your 200-day EMA, and nag-advance na naman siya, and as of now, so March 16, so medyo nag-close below the 200-day EMA. So this could actually be a signal na pwedeng bumaba pa siya, even lower, or it could be na mag-consolidate siya ng matagal below your 200-day EMA, or lilibot lang siya sa 200-day EMA. So bakit mahalaga itong 200-day EMA? Because this means, for example, na yung price mo is below the average ng mga buyers before. So that only means na yung mga holders ni Ayala Land, specifically yung mga nakabili dito, is palugi, 'di ba? And dahil palugi yung mga tao na nakabili dito, so mahirapang umakyat yung stock dito in the coming days. Why? Because yung mga naipit dito, no, magbebentahan yan dito once umakyat yan ng pakonti-konti. And that is actually stopping the ascent nitong stock price natin. So, hindi siya yung least resistance na tinatawag natin because it's actually has a lot of resistance because may mga ipit dito, and ang gusto lang naman mangyari ng mga ipit is makabawi. So, by the time na umakyat yan, magbebentahan ulit yan, and mahirapan na ulit umakyat yung ating stock price. So, yun lang yung idea ng 200-day EMA. So, it gives us a long-term trend whether yung stock natin is going uptrend or downtrend. So, dito natin makikita why it is important to use also some indication of timing when we use yung research ni COL Financial. So, for example, si COL Financial, meron siyang calling the shots noong October 2019. So, ito yung kanilang stocks list. Pero pag titingnan natin, for example, itong Mega World. So, let's look at the chart of Mega World noong October 2019. So, ito yung kanyang price chart, no, since October 2019. And if susundin lang natin kasi itong kanyang calling the shots, if the price is 4.46, so that is below the buy below price 6.20. So if you will follow yung just the principle, no, without the timing, gagawin natin is pipili natin itong si Mega World. But during October 2019, yung price niya actually is already below the 200-day EMA. And that already gives us some form of indication na pwedeng humihina na yung trend ni Mega World, and it could actually be starting a downtrend, which is actually the case here. So that's the beauty of doing 200-day EMA. Hindi tayo nakakabili during the downtrend, and bibili lang ulit tayo kapag the price crossed above the 200-day EMA. And if you are a bit more aggressive, no, so you could actually consider buying 4 to 6 months after it crossed below the 200-day EMA. So in this case, meron lang tayong exceptional case dito because of the pandemic, di ba? But after the low, magbilang ka ng 4 to 6 months. So this is March, April, May, June, July, August, September. So by September, that is 6 months after the low, you can consider buying here if you are more aggressive. And then you could ride itong recovery, di ba? Somehow kasi itong 4 to 6 months na to, ito yung tinatawag nating reset. Parang nagkaroon ng bagong start yung stock price, and that actually pushed the price to cross above the 200-day EMA, and ayan, so pwede mo actually itong sakyan, di ba? Again, this is all in hindsight, but again, itong importance ng 200-day EMA is we are able to avoid yung pagbili ng stock during its downtrend even if the price is below the buy below price. And ang safety net naman natin, why we expect the stock to recover is because yung fundamental nature ng companies na ini-invest natin. So mag-aantay lang talaga tayo, let's say nakabili ka during this time, nag-cross siya, so wait ka lang dyan, wait for 4 to 6 months after the bottom before you start deploying again, and then you can ride yung next trend. But as of now, so nagko-close na naman siya below the 200-day EMA, which is an indication na umihina na naman yung trend. And what could possibly happen here is pwedeng magdire-diretso yan pababa, or it could just go sideways in several weeks. Okay? So yun actually yung benefit nitong passive timing, na ma-maximize natin yung funds natin, di ba? Again, the basic idea of timing here is we would like to maximize the trend, which means we would like to avoid the market. We would like to be not invested if the trend is downtrend, and we would like to start deploying again by the time na nag-i-start na naman yung uptrend. And yung common tool na ginagamit natin doon when it comes to determining yung long-term trend is yung 200-day EMA. Again, these are just principles, no? Hindi naman ito technical rules na sinusundan ng market. But at least meron tayong sistema na sinusundan, and we can use all these ideas, yung sticking with giants, having a margin, diversification, and doing a bit of timing to at least create our own trading system and improve later on. So pag marami ka namang time, no, na aralin yung art of trading, so marami namang active trading setups na pwede pang gawin. But for those people na very busy, so itong 4 steps na to could be your starting point in doing your investment program. So yun lang actually yung lesson natin for today. I hope I was able to give you some ideas for you to do simple investing strategies. So if meron kayong questions or comments, so make sure to put them in the comment section below. And if you like this video, so make sure to click the like button and subscribe ka na rin and click the notification bell so that you get updated on our future videos. So thank you guys for watching and see you in our next video. God bless us all. Bye!